Hello and welcome. I am here. My name is Janet Taylor. I am a life organizer. A lot of you know me as a podcast host of Got Clutter, Get Organized. I am here with Felicia, Wallace, Benton, and we decided to just come together in this new year and really share with you some strategies. This is going to be a series on just really how to design, but actually organize on a budget. And of course, we're going to start the series with the bedroom. And really, because it's a new year, just kind of give a fresh feel and a fresh look to your space. So, welcome. And of course, Felicia, it's always great to have an opportunity to just kind of have a conversation with you. So, please let those watching just kind of tell them about you as well as your business.
Hello, everyone. My name is Felicia Wallace Benton. I'm owner of Designing Your Vision. We are an interior design company in which we help to bring your visions to life for any interior, residential or commercial. We do small projects as well as big renovations. So basically, that's what we do.
And of course, I'm always excited to talk about the bedroom, Felicia, because I always share with people that's the one space that really almost should be your haven because it's the first place you are when you wake up in the morning, and then at the end of your day, you close the door, and that's really the last space you are. And one of the things I always tell people is really it's important about creating zones. And just from my perspective, it's always good to create a calming space. But a calming space means you have to get rid of stuff. You have to get rid of all the visual clutter because I always share with people is that a while back I wasn't feeling my best. And it was really nice to be in my bedroom and just kind of be able to just relax, Felicia. I mean, the sun was coming in. I didn't have any clutter on my dresser. I didn't have any clutter on my side tables, and just to be able to just kind of, okay, this is a nice place for me to relax. And one of the things I tell people is get rid of that visual clutter from the side tables. You have all the stuff piling up, but also just kind of looking at that dresser, all the stuff, or even the exercise bike that we got clothes on, the chair,
Hanging off of it.
yeah, and the beautiful chair that people invest the money in, but they've got stuff on it. So, that's one of the things that I always share with people in regards to creating that calm zone in their bedroom.
Yeah. I always say like your bedroom should be your retreat. It should be your own personal retreat. I mean, granted, if you're married, you do have to share it with your spouse. But if you're single, I mean, you really have an open opportunity to make it your own retreat. And it should be something for, if you're married, for both of you guys to be able to retreat to and really unwind. So the only difference between the two is that you do have to be open-minded. But like you said, you start with decluttering. I mean, that's one thing when I go into a space, I tell people like you really have to find places for things that you're not using on a daily basis, and just make sure it has its own little home. Plus, if you do that, like have your jewelry in one place, have your clothes all in one place, if you start to do that instead of just throwing things around your bedroom, it helps you better in the morning when you're getting up, and it just helps your overall lifestyle. So yeah, I do keep that in mind when I help them to design their space. And when they're thinking about new furniture, it's basically how you operate. Like I don't really design on what's out there and what's stylish. I really get to know my clients to sit there and say, like, what do you do in your bedroom? Yeah, we're gonna get a little personal right here. Because technically that's the only way that if you function right, it just makes your overall progress or your process in getting up in the morning a lot easier, and then unwinding at night the same thing. I had one client that loved pillows on her bed. I mean, God bless her. I mean, I was like, I love these too, but you can definitely eliminate quite a few. Like, I mean, seriously, how much time does it take you to take all these off and put all of them back on? Like, I mean, once it was made up, it's fine. But I mean, really, I mean, do you use all of these? Can't we put them someplace else? That too. So you have to keep all that in consideration. Like your bedding, how much pillows you have, your lighting
Mm.
too as well.
Mm.
I have some clients that just have recessed lighting in their bedroom, no lamps, no nothing. It's like so you come into this and you're energized until you go to sleep.
That is true. That is true. But I did want to piggyback off of something you said about how you always help them declutter first. And I always
Yes.
tell people who, really, let's just purge first before we start purchasing stuff in regards to what I do in the organizing. And it's getting rid of things like you already mentioned, the clothes. I see the clothes on the chair. My first, thought is, okay, what's in your closet that you're not wearing? And then also with the dresser and just, all of those spaces, let's get rid of stuff. And, even if you do like to read books, because a lot of people like to read books in bed, only keep the ones that you really are reading now. And are you reading that much? Did you need something small just in your bedroom for books? I mean, personally, Felicia, I have a shelf. I have a nightstand with a shelf. So therefore, there's certain books I always like to grab, so I keep them in the bottom shelf and not on the top. So those are some things as well. But yeah, and like you said, just kind of going through things and edit first and then move on. But then I
Yeah,
just want know what we're gonna
I
say.
tell people all the time, whatever you use on a daily basis, you could definitely keep on your dresser if you need to. So you don't have to kind of go into the cabinet. I can understand it. I do that myself. But when I find like it's taken over my dresser, then I'm like, okay, we have to weed off what we're doing because obviously I'm not using everything here on my dresser 100% of the time.
Hmm.
So, but I get that because I do keep, lotion and little things like that on my dresser. Um, but like you said, if I go into someone's space and they're like, oh, I need additional furniture or I need something to put this in, 99% of the time they have to kind of weed out what they already have. And once they do that, they realize they don't need it.
Hmm.
And if they do need it, like I said, I just have make sure it functions for them. Like, what are you using it for? Like, okay, so you have this dresser out here. What are you putting in this dresser? Okay, let's just make sure everything that you're putting in this dresser fits. Once we weed out your closet, okay, maybe we could put some of this stuff in your closet and reorganize your closet so you don't have to use or buy this size dresser that you think that you might need that you don't need. So now you have another space for a niche, a
Hmm.
place where you can sit and actually read a book or something. It's little stuff like that I try to get them to understand. That way it's not just replacing furniture and revamping. It's more like remodeling your bedroom so it can work for your needs, basically.
Hmm. And one of the
Hmm.
things I like now, Felicia, is the storage options. Because before, you just had, kind of containers, but now you can have a bench in your bedroom
Yes.
and just kind of, or even, those cute little cubes if you don't have a lot of space for a bench. Those are some different storage options as well. You know, people, they're kind of controversial in regards to under the bed storage. I have
Hmm.
under the bed storage because of the space that I have. But some people say you're supposed to keep that space nice and clear and free and all that. But if you don't have other storage options, think about that. And also, I've noticed that now they're making a lot of beds with it,
With under
with
storage,
yeah,
yeah.
with the drawers and everything. So because we want to have a place for everything and everything in its place.
I did. I actually worked with a client that purchased a bed with under, and I was like, "Does this still exist?" And after I researched, I was like, "Oh, it does." And there's quite a few out there, all different styles. So yes, I do definitely recommend that because again, that helps you to stay neat and organized, and it definitely helps you to have a home for pretty much everything. Yeah.
And
The same thing with like bins instead of plastic bins. I do like the decorative bins and stuff like that. So you could just have shelving with the bins on it that helps you to keep stuff on hand. So there's a lot of creative ways that you can definitely enhance and store stuff. And that definitely won't depend on the overall aesthetic of your bedroom and still make it a nice, relaxing retreat. But the point of it is that you want to make sure everything has a home so you can access it very easily.
Mm.
which make your life a whole lot easier.
And that's true. And that is true. And as you were talking, I was also thinking that some people have such large closets. Like you said, sometimes they could put almost a dresser or chest of drawers in there, and it's just a matter of how you organize the clothes. But you can kind of open up and actually have space for it if you want a sitting area in your space. Because some of those bedrooms, those master bedrooms, suites are huge, and so are the closets. So it's nice to have that, being versatile in regards to that.
Yeah, yeah. I've definitely added dressers into closets, anything with drawer space, even book stands that are but so high, and just put like those decorative boxes in there so they could put stuff in there like scarves and hats and winter attire or stuff like that, so it can all be stacked in there. The key of it is, I mean, some people are using their closet for just about everything, depending upon their space. They may not have a coat closet, so sometimes they have to use their bedroom closet for everything. That's why they have such a large bedroom closet. So again, it really depends upon how you live in your space and how you need it to operate. And that's where I come in as a designer to design it. But the first thing I do is tell them, you're going to have to weed some stuff out.
And I'm sure they're not happy about
No,
that.
there never are. That's one homework assignment they never
Mhm,
do.
mhm,
Unless they're moving in. That's if they're still living in the space is the hardest, but if they're moving out into a new space,
mhm,
is very easy
mhm.
for them to do.
And it
Hmm.
and it really sounds like a lot of times it's more or less, what is your vision for this bedroom? Because, like you said, there's some people who just have the bed in there, but then there are other people who have an exercise bike. And then, of course, there are the people who have the chair. And then one of the things that I found, and I talked to someone about it, is that when they wake up, they see their calendar. So you've got a home and an office. And I'm happy to say that they're transitioning and they're going to actually take their office out of the bedroom. But it's all of those different things, and just how do you really kind of incorporate them. But, one of the things I tell people is sometimes in order to just maintain the order, we have to have kind of a routine in order to, put things back. Like, okay, you figured out what you wanted to wear today. So now let's put all the stuff that you took out the closet back in. The same with the jewelry, or, when you may have finished 2 and 3 books, do you have a space somewhere in your home where those books can go as well? But I also feel that in doing that, sometimes even with seasonal stuff, Felicia, sometimes we have those, because there's some people who flip their linens and everything else seasonally, but when they do that, sometimes they don't even let go of things that they need to.
Yeah, and that's one thing you definitely have to do. Because I'm a big fan of letting things be plush and warm and welcoming for like the winter, and then in the summer light and airy, because that definitely gives you the overall vibe of your space. But if you want to create a retreat, like one thing like you attest to, it is kind of like knowing how you want the space. So that's why I do like interviews, say like, how do you want this space in the future, and how do you operate? Because with that I can sit there and say, well, yeah, you can have your bike in the space, but it's like what you can do is you can have it set off to the side, and this is how we're going to operate. Maybe we, depending upon how your furniture is set up, like change the arrangement of your furniture, which is definitely an easy way to revamp your space. Because with that said, some people do have it set up kind of awkwardly, where they don't even have room to get it out of bed. So it's like,
Mm,
maybe we could do this here. Maybe we don't need this here. And then once you declutter and get rid of certain pieces you don't have, you can definitely keep certain things in your bedroom. I've had a client that, she had 2 kids and she didn't have like an office space that she could have. So her office was her bedroom. But like you said, as soon as she woke up, she saw her desk. So why don't we just change things around so you don't see your desk? So that's like the first thing you see, when you wake up in the morning. So that's something that as a designer, I can definitely bring to the table and
mhm.
help kind of open up your mind and see different alternative solutions um, to the space.
And
Uh,
yeah, and that
and
is
work from
true.
there.
And that is true because we come in with a whole different look, a whole different
Right.
thought process. It's like, okay, you have this here. Have you ever thought about it here? Or I was talking to someone and they love books. And but it's just her and her husband. And they've got 3 bedrooms. And I said, well, you could put bookcases in your guest bedroom. I mean, she was like, huh. I was like, yeah. I said, it is your house. And that's what I said. It's your space. You created the way you want it to look. You're the one who has to live in here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there's no right or wrong. What's going to make you feel comfortable? And she was like, huh, that might really work. I said, yeah. I said, you don't have to cram all the books in spread them out. You can have a bookcase in every room if you wanted to, because sometimes people come to visit, they may just want to look and see because you got beautiful books. They might just want to pick one up and just look through it. So you're right about that. So,
And that enhances their visiting
and
experience.
that is so
So as
true.
a guest member.
And that
Yeah,
is
so
so
it
true.
definitely works. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is so true because I mean, as a guest, I've been in a lot of guest bedrooms, and it's so nice when I go in the bedroom. There's like a chair, and one bedroom there's even like a little small desk, but it's on the side, so I'm not seeing it when I first wake up, and it's even the little storage thing. So sometimes I just kind of, when I'm trying to pick out what I'm wearing, I can just kind of lay my clothes out on there. So,
Hmm.
there's so many ways that we can transform the bedroom without breaking a budget. So it's always good, function first. And one of the things I always ask people is, does this item help you rest? And also sometimes can you put it someplace else? And so Felicia, you were talking about ambience and lighting. And I'm glad you talked about that because when you said that, I went to a restaurant and I'm unsure it was about the ambience, but I couldn't see a thing. It was like the nighttime. People are taking out their iPhones just so they can see the menu. But because, in my opinion, I thought, maybe bright lights, but then you're saying it kind of be a combination because then you also have to have those lights that kind of make it cozy and you want to sleep. But I'll let you explain a little bit better.
For every room, even outdoors, like you need your main light.
Mm-hmm.
You need task lighting that helps you do those
Mm-hmm.
tasks like reading and everything. And then you need like your
Mm-hmm.
ambient light, which is like your warm, inviting light that just allows you to like relax and unwind. So that's pretty much
Mm-hmm.
like in any space that you need
Mm-hmm.
those elements. So what I normally suggest for a bedroom is, yeah, you can have some recessed light, but have them be on one switch. Then you have your lighting, have it be on another switch. And then you have your tasks, like your other ambient lighting, which could be other decorative lighting. And that could be on the same switch as your lamps, but you can turn it on and off as you want to. So, for the most part, you can have
Mm-hmm.
like one to two switches in your bedroom. Um, and then some even people even have like a ceiling fan too. Now, keep in mind, you can definitely turn these on and off with now technology as much as you want. So you can even have it on one switch and just say, Alexa, turn off certain lights. Like I'm pretty sure your recessed lighting can be on one switch and it could just turn those off, and your lamps can be on another. So if you want to do that, then that's one thing you can definitely do. But what it helps you to do is the different types of lighting helps you to your body respond in one way. Like if you go say like I to like a place where you need to be awake, you have that bright light that
Mm-hmm.
helps you to stay awake, that stimulates you. Then you have a certain lighting that helps to create certain moods and certain atmospheres. But in your best restaurants, they do have certain lighting that creates the ambiance. So even when you're sitting at your table, you do have lighting above you and next to you that does help you to read the menu. So that's in your best designed restaurants. So I mean, some of
Okay.
the others, they're not. They may have good food and everything, which does go a long way. But it's like, okay, what am I? Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you do take out your phone and you're trying to read. But yeah, that's what you have to do in every space, your kitchen, living
Mm-hmm.
room, everything. You have to have a way to play with the lighting because that definitely helps you. And even some cases, if you're a senior. you can and then we can get to how we talk about the bathrooms, like certain lighting in certain places that can help you to move about in the darkness. And that helps for people who are a little bit older. I normally, make sure they incorporate that, or if they're like living in like a home with their kids, to make sure that their kids, when they're setting up their place, to make sure they incorporate that. But it definitely
Mm.
helps with your mood, and it creates that beautiful spa like feeling that most people want and they need nowadays in their bedroom. With
And
everything
that's
going on, like you just want a place where you could like, this is my sanctuary.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This is where
That
I
is
can relax and unwind and just let go of the day. You
and that
know.
is true. And that
Hmm.
is so true. But again, I just want you to ask yourself, does this item allow me to rest?
Like the lady with
Whether
the pillows.
yeah, yeah, I know. I know. I thought
Do
about
you
somebody who
really
loves
need
a
all
lot
these
of pillows.
pillows?
I'm thinking it takes you a half an hour probably just to get them off the bed. But that's your choice. But yeah, so does it? Does it? So I do hope you have enjoyed this conversation. We've got some more in store for you. So please make sure if you're not following my channel, make sure you follow Felicia's channel. All of the links will be below on how you connect with us. And if this conversation has sparked some questions, please feel free to post them and allow us to just kind of start a conversation on how you can truly transform your bedroom just on a budget. So
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this first segment of Design and Organize. So
And
thank you
keep
so
in
much.
mind, most of these tips are free. Like
Yes,
they're free changes you can make and have a completely different space. So,
that's true. That I mean, with both of us. I mean, for
yeah.
me, purging, just getting rid of stuff, making room. But even with Felicia, a lot of times you probably already have things in your home and in your space. And one of the things I've learned from her is sometimes maybe something is in another room. But maybe it'll work in my bedroom. Just
Right.
give it that feel. So again, thank you so much for joining us.